Hey guys, and happy holidays. I am here today to talk to you about how I usually end my years on a positive note. And of late, life's been pretty hectic, pretty busy. Had a lot of big projects that I completed this year that I'm really happy and proud of. One thing I noticed though is just life was just kept moving and moving and coming at me so fast that I didn't have time to really sink in and actually enjoy all the different things that I had accomplished this year. And so a few years ago, my wife and I, Dr. Natasha Falahi, we actually started this practice where we would sit together and just review our year. And ever since I've been doing that, it's just been really helpful in terms of not only like the things that I realize that I've accomplished, but more from this mindset place of health, of emotional health, and really enjoying and steeping in the experience that we're really looking to create for ourselves in the first place. And so what I want to share with you today is the practice. One of the things that I have been doing at the end of not only the year for the past few years, but also just recently I started keeping a journal where I actually keep track of things weekly as well as daily. And I found that to be so really helpful and beneficial for my mental health as well as my emotional health. Because again, in my life, there's a lot of things that I have going on that I've accomplished, but I've learned that if we don't just slow down and steep in those experiences, life just passes you by. And so that's what I want to do, is share with you guys this practice that I really hope that you guys will find value. And so part of the year in review that I've been doing, or rather the weekly reviews and the year in review that I've been working on the past few days over the holidays, is really steeping in all the different things that happened over the year. And so I'm a really big fan of Carl Jung and his exploration of what really creates an integrated human being. And so I came up with these words, really these phrases. So when it comes to your year in review, I really encourage you to, number one, acknowledge the dark and the darkness, but just as important, to accentuate the light. And what do I mean by that? It's really a simple, practical exercise that I encourage you guys to do. So what I mean by acknowledge the dark, just take out a piece of paper when you get a chance over the next few days, over the holidays, and just list all the different things that you've been working on, or things that happened to you that you were struggling with, or was challenging or frustrating. And I encourage you, just list every single thing, that was quote unquote on the, not so pleasant part of your year. List it all. And once you have that listed, I encourage you guys, list all your struggles, all your challenges, and then answer these questions for yourself. So once you have everything listed on a piece of paper, look back and say, ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? All the different things that might have been challenging or a struggle for you, really sit down and think about, what can I learn from this situation? Because I'm a firm believer in personal development and growth. And I found that in my life, when things got tough, I was in situations that were really challenging and really, brought out the dark side of my experiences. Whenever I sat down and asked myself, what can I learn from this situation? That's what got me through it all. So I really encourage you, after you, step one, list every struggle, every challenge that you can recall that's still, in your psyche, so to speak. List it all, and then ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Another great question that can kind of help shift your mindset is if you're still struggling with it, is how can I improve this? What are some things that I can do to shift or improve these experiences that are challenging or that you find, you're struggling with? And if you're still struggling with it, finally, I'm a firm believer in just letting things go. So ask yourself this question: how can I let it go? So that's really the first part of this exercise. So acknowledge the dark. Really, number one, list everything that you've been struggling with or that's been challenging in your life. And then ask yourself the question: what can I learn from these experiences? Again, I'm a firm believer when you can learn and you can pull from, all the crap that life throws at you sometimes and all the darkness, you can really become a much better and broader human being, and more expansive experience of yourself and of the world. The second thing you can also ask yourself is, if you're still struggling with the situation, is how can I improve this? What are some things that I can do to improve? Do I need to have a conversation with someone? Do I need to completely walk away from this situation? And then finally, the third thing is, if it's still really, weighing on your psyche, the third question I encourage you to ask yourself is, how can I let this go? Okay? So that's the first part of this exercise: acknowledge the dark. The second thing is, more importantly, how to end your year on a positive note is, ask yourself, what are the things you can do to accentuate the light? And so the second list, I want you to take out another piece of paper and just write as much as you can, remember or recall, just all the different things, all the wins that you experienced, all the different breakthroughs you had in your life, all the accomplishments. And what are some things you could also write about things that you're grateful for, the people or experiences or memories. Again, because in my life, I'm just so busy. I'm up, seeing patients. I'm working on other projects. I've wrote my first book this year, and all those things are wonderful. But I find that if I don't sit down and really just let it sink in and integrate, it's just like, what's the point then? Right? And so I find this practice, accentuating the light, ever since I started doing this, it's really deep in my experience. It's taken, certain experiences that might have been really stressful and overwhelming and really helped me grow as a human being. So I encourage you, for this second part of the exercise, accentuating the light, I want you to, again, write down as many wins, as many breakthroughs, as many things that you're grateful for that you've experienced throughout the year. And then in those situations, just really not only list them out like this as a rote exercise, more importantly, really go back and sink in and steep in those experiences. How did those wins make you feel? Did you feel proud? Because when you do that, when you kind of relive these experiences and then actually allow yourself to steep in it deeper, you literally create what we call neuroplasticity, which is your brain's ability to change its shape. And when you change the shape of your brain, you change its structure. And when you change the structure, you change the function, and you can also change your experience of yourself and of the world around you. So I really encourage you, for the second part of this exercise, really sink in and steep in those experiences, really relive all those positive memories. And so by doing this, it can help really allow you to end your year on a positive note. So again, in review, number one, I want you guys to acknowledge the dark, like list everything, all the struggles that, and the challenges that you've experienced, and ask yourself the question, what can I learn from these experiences? And then the second thing, most importantly, accentuate the light, really steepen the positive memories that you had. I guarantee you that your brain will thank you for it. Thanks so much for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this little video, please share it with your friends, comment, and like the video. You can also learn more about me and my practice and my unique take on health and brain health at drtituschoo.com. Happy holidays!